Hey you guys, I'm here again, JC, and welcome to FabLab. And we are now in our 5th episode. And today we have a guest, a special guest, and he is from Negosyo Center, FabLab, co-working space, Ilocos region. And he is going to show us one of the best softwares that we can use to develop a 3D model. And now help me welcome Engineer Mark Lucas of FabLab Ilocos.
I'm here to represent our lab into the FabLab of FabLab Mindanao. I am Mark Lucas from Philippine Science High School-Ilocos Region Campus, representing our Negosyo Center, Fabrication Laboratory and Co-working Space, Ilocos Region or FabLab Ilocos in today's edition of FabLab 3D Modeling.
Okay, hello everyone. So for this part, I will teach you how to do 3D model. So first and foremost, you need to have an account in Fusion 360. So if you have an account into Fusion 360 or Autodesk account, you can now access Fusion 360. However, before you use Fusion 360, be sure to install it first into your computer and you are connected to the internet, because if you're not connected to the internet, obviously you cannot still access Fusion 360. For that, for new users, you need to have your account. But for me, I have already my account, so all I have to do is to enter my username, which is usually my email address, and then the password for this case. The password. Then you click onto signing in. Obviously, you need to have also your phone with you, because there's a verification code that would be sent to your registered phone number. That's really how strict Autodesk is. So this is now, we're now entering the screen for Autodesk Fusion 360. So you need to wait for it to load. And while waiting, you can also play some music, or maybe you can do some TikTok while waiting for the Autodesk Fusion 360 screen. Yeah, TikTok. So this is my screen. This is the screen for Fusion 360. So obviously, this is where you would going to create your 3D model. So on the upper right, you can see there the home. So it has there the top page, the right side, and then this is the front side, and then the right side. So it would now become a 3D model. So you can create your model based onto the top or onto the front, right? No, should be the right side, or it is on the left side. So you can do that one. For our case, we would be creating a gear, sample gear, a 3D model of a gear. So I just have to open my previous work for us to have a guide, so that you can see what is now our target. But again, be sure that you are connected, not created, connected to the internet. Okay. Okay, so this is my work. So by the way, I'm Mark Lucas. from Philippine Science High School, Ilocos Region Campus. Is this my work? I think I saved it for... Okay, this one. It should be gear sample. Okay, so let's wait for it to load. Obviously, it says there, opening your document. Well, you really have a problem with depends upon the specifications of your computer or your desktop or laptop. So if you are planning to use Fusion 360, be sure that you abide by the software specification requirement. Okay, so this would be our similar output for this model. So let's create a gear. Well, I would have to show you this is 18 teeth gear. However, you can also create lesser teeth for a certain gear or smaller. But this would be our goal. Similar output with this type of gear. Okay, so start a new file. So you go to the same with Word. You can see there a document. Then you click onto new design. So you would be redirected to a new design. Then you can change the name here and save. Or maybe you can save it later when we have now the or when we are done now with the design. So in this case, let's create first our 2D model before we can do the 3D model. So all you have to do is to click onto the create sketch. And then, well, obviously this is the top part. This is your right plane, and then this is your front plane. But I prefer to have the top part or the one above. This is your x-axis, and this is your y-axis, z-axis, and this is your y-axis. Well, if you do not want to do this one, you can also press escape so that you can also go to the this direction or click onto the top part. So you are already on the top side. Then you create the create sketch, then click onto this color yellow with a certain grid to enter the plane. But one thing good about Fusion 360 is you can do now 3D models directly into your without creating your 2D model. But in this particular 3D modeling sketch or like tutorial or webinar, would teach you how to create a 2D model and then convert it into 3D model. So after that, you click onto this one. So you are now directed to the 2D plane and to the top part. Then you can see there different tools. So our goal is to have a gear like this one. So okay, so we now start with the objective. So obviously we create a circle, so center diameter, or you can also change it with 2-point circle or other kinds of circles, tangent and others. Obviously the measurement is diameter. It's not the radius, it's the diameter. Okay, so we click onto the center part and then let's just have 100 mm. and press enter. Okay, then if you want to go now with that one, you press escape. Okay, 100. So you have there now a circle, and then another circle with the same center but with a different distance. So let's say it's 90. Okay, and then a third circle, that would be a lesser bit smaller. So that is it's now, let's say it's around 80 or 75. Well, you can also put there the number if you want, like 75. So the diameter is 75 degrees. Then one particular thing is we need to create also our construction lines to have a guide for us to create our gear or our output. So in this case, we will be creating construction lines. So with that, we would be looking into lines, or you can click into create, then line. You can see their line. So well, any distance will do as long as it's a line. Let's just have 130 mm. So you have there now your X part, and let's go with the Y part. Be sure you are in 90 degrees or 120. Well, the measurement, these are only construction lines, so we will be deleting those things later in preparation. Okay, the next part is for us to create now another construction lines for us to have guides for those things. With that, we'll be creating more construction lines, but in this case we would be using instead of lines, we'll be using another tool which is called offset. It's here a definition. Copies the selected sketch curve, specified distance from the original curve. Okay, so click on that one, then let's click onto the X part, the X-axis line. Then after that, you set the offset position. For positive side, it would be put into below the line, but for negative side, it would be put above the line. So if you put there -3, so obviously it's above the line. So you'll be creating another line with the same distance from the previous line. So if you press OK, so you create now an offset based on your middle line. Okay, so in this case, let's create another offset. So offset, yay! Then click on this one. After that, let's do. We have 3 and then -3. So this time it's +3. So here you go. Then next is we do now another line. So since we have now 3, so this time let's do another offset. So this is now the offset. So that would be 5. And same, the middle, then offset. So that would be -5. I hope you can follow this one if you do, or you create or you use Fusion 360, Autodesk Fusion 360. Then after that, let's do now another offset into your Y-axis. So that would now be Since we use here is 3, we'll be using here 3. So same. So same lines. So offset, and then create now 3. The other one is -3. So if you are into the positive side, it would be placed onto the left side. If you are into the negative side, you place into the right side. -3. Then in here, we would going to remove some of the things we don't need. So obviously, we would only retain the things that we need. So we need to use another tool. So that's now your trim, the one in the scissor. Or you can click there, modify, and then click trim. Or you can press T. So trims the sketch curve to the nearest intersecting curve or boundary geometry. So click that one. We'll be deleting now these things because we'll not be needing those. Okay, don't delete this one because that's the thing that we need. Then others. Okay, maybe we can delete now. Okay, if you want to remove it, then just in case you committed a mistake, you can press Ctrl Z to return your output. Okay. To further improve your work, or to scroll down or scroll up your work, you can use this one, zoom. No, it should be zoom in and zoom out your work. So you can use the zoom part or pan to move. Zoom in, zooming in, zooming out. Okay, or press escape. So in this case, we'll be deleting this particular arc. So we have now this part. So we have now this part. So in that particular case, we will be creating now multiple copies of this particular output. So how are we going to do that? That's the question. Okay, so in this case, we'll be creating and we'll be using tools to create now parts like those sizes that would revolve around your circle. So in this case, we'll be using what you call circular pattern. So duplicate selected sketch curve in an arc or circular pattern. So I'm going to click that one. So and then obviously the particular arc is already selected. Then let's click another one onto the center. So you have there two selected, and then click your center point. So that's now your circle, this circle. Then create the quantity, how many pieces that you would like to put into your arc. For that particular sample, the gear that I have shown you, that's you have there 18 pieces. So put there 18. Then you press OK. So obviously you have now those particular arcs into your design. Okay. So in another case is we'll be using now another tool to create to form that particular model. So let's use now the should be arc and then 3-point arc. Again, it should be arc and 3-point arc. And then with that, we'll be connecting now the dots. So from here, connect it here. Usually what I want is something like this. And then from here, from this point, and then to this point. Okay. Again, let's do another shortcut. Since we have here now arcs, so let's create another shortcut for this thing. So all you have to do is to highlight these two particular arcs, and then we do again the what we call from create, then you create now your circular pattern. Since we have here 18 lines, right? The one that revolves around your circle, so this time same process. So the third one is in the middle part, and then your center point is the outer circle. So after that, we'll be creating now 18. Obviously, it's 18. And then you press OK. So after that, since you have now gear, so this is now your gear, right? Okay, so we need to remove now the construction lines. So click here and then right click. Okay, you right click and then you put there delete. Same through with the others construction lines. You right click and then you delete. Delete. So you have created now your construction line, so that will not be able to will be lessened sometime creating our gear later. Obviously, you can see now your gears, right? Parts of your gear. And then since we have now our gear, let's put the center, or in which you're going to what do you call that one, you're going to move or going to have a center point into your gear. So again, let's create another circle. So this time it's a smaller one, 10 millimeter. 10 mm. Just click, okay, then skip. Then you click now this one. Then you go back to your home page. So or click now finish sketch. Okay, so this is now your obviously this is now your gear with 18 teeth. So for us to make this is now the 2D version. Okay, so for us to make it look like a 3D model, so we're going to use now what we call extrude. So this extrude part. So you click extrude, and then we have here select one. Obviously this is just the first one that I choose. Then you can put there the extrusion, so the distance that how high would you like to put into your 3D model, and then the topple angle. But usually what I only put here is the distance. So I want it to have 5 millimeter distance or 6 millimeter distance. after that, you click now onto OK. And then let's wait for it to be extruded. Obviously, this is the top view of your 3D model. But if you click now onto your home page or your home, you can see there now the 3D model or the XY say plate, or the top front and then the right side view of your model. Okay, so we're done now with the I think it's a little bit similar with our output. Yeah. Okay, so it's a little bit they have a different distance. Well, in creating gears, it depends upon your the size of your teeth or the thing that you would like to connect. So take into consideration those sizes, because those are important also in creating your gear or in doing your gear. Okay, and next we need to save this one to the cloud, but by default you can save it to the cloud, or you can also export it into OBJ file or STL file so that you can 3D print your output. So how are we going to save this one? You go to file and then you save, obviously. Well, you can also save it into your computer or offline computer. Okay, I want it to be saved into my folder, so you can change this location if you would like to save it offline. Wow, I think my Fusion 360 is running well. So this is gear output. Let's see. Okay, I want to save it into my activities. So that's it. Save. This is my previous activity. Gear model. Okay, so since it's already been saved, so I teach you now how to export it into STL file. So all you have to do is to highlight your design and then file and export. Then obviously don't save it as F3D file. Save it as OBJ or STL. Obviously, what I really prefer is STL file. So it's gear 1, and I want it to be saved into my downloads. So that's now the downloads into my downloads part into my PC. So click save, then export. It will take time for it to export because it's it will going to download it from the cloud and then save it into your computer. Okay, since the download is already completed, so we need now to close this one. Then let's check if the device or the model is present onto the downloads. So all you have to do is to export, try to export again, then click this one. I think it's not in F3D, that should be STL. Then, so that's it. It's already downloaded, so that's now your 3D object created into your model. So let's cancel this one, cancel. And there, I hope you learned in creating 3D models for this particular exercise or output. For this particular output. Well, there's another thing, except instead of extrude, you can also use revolve. So this is revolve. So the only difference is you'd be creating circular things. So between an x-axis. For extrude, this you'd be creating a. There's the difference. So add step. For revolve, you'll be creating now revolution. So, but for us, we have created here the 2D model. So that's already your gear, and then all you have to do is to extrude it to create it, to make it into a 3D model. And thank you for listening. I hope you learned from the short discussion or short webinar or short exercise. And once again, this is Mark Lucas from Philippine Science High School, Ilocos Region Campus, representing Negosyo Center, Fabrication and Laboratory, Co-working Space, Ilocos Region, or in short, it's FabLab Ilocos. Thank you for your time.